Hello and welcome to Extra Time. We're on HTTV. I'm pleased to be joined by John Worthington and Andy Lawson after Town's 0-0 home draw with Birmingham City. Worthy, if I come to you first, I don't know about you, but I'm feeling quite frustrated after that one. I think we did just about everything needed to win that one apart from score.
Yeah, I think it was very frustrating evening. I think going into the game, I think the lads will have been really positive, really going to try and push and get the 3 points. And I think they did that, to be honest. And, obviously the two chances hitting the woodwork at the end, it just didn't have we didn't get the break today. And so the lads will be disappointed and frustrated.
Andy, you were in the ground tonight. That's not your painting behind us. That's
what a beautiful picture there.
Somewhere in the bowels of the John Smith Stadium. How did you see that one? Because for me, that wasn't a million miles away from what happened at the weekend when we were all delighted with a straightforward 2-0 win. It was sort of a few, as Worthy says, a few breaks that just didn't go our way that stopped that result being far more positive.
Yeah, I know exactly what you mean, Raj. I feel like you look at tonight's game and you see two teams who were kind of even, but also the thing for me is that Town in recent times have actually been able to take games like that and actually kick on to the next level. And I suppose, tonight the difference is that Fraser was hitting the post rather than it actually going in. But again, I feel like the way that Town actually played tonight, you look at that, there are so many positives, there are so many really good bits from that. And fine, we didn't actually get the 3 points. But for me, overall, I'm happy with what I've seen tonight.
Do you think, Andy, that it's sort of a sign of how far Town have come at the start of this season, that we're going out of a game like that against a team with a really strong squad and we're feeling annoyed at the fact that we haven't won, whereas perhaps last season we'd have just been glad for a point?
Yeah, I think I know exactly what you mean, Raj. I feel like the expectation levels of what we're hoping for now from Town, they have been raised. And as a Town fan, actually, it's great to be in a position where that is the case because, we've had a couple of seasons where you weren't sure what was going to happen game by game. You might have found that Birmingham would have stuck one in there. But tonight, no, they haven't. We're in a position where we are the team expecting to do really well in games like this. And it is disappointing that tonight wasn't our night, but bigger picture kind of stuff here, Raj. I'm generally pleased with what I'm seeing from Town.
Yeah, I think the performance Worthy, I don't think we can really fault. It was positive. The lads controlled the majority of the game. Birmingham's chances were extremely limited, and it was just a few really good saves and a few chances that hit the post that really stopped us coming away with 3 points.
Yeah, I thought there were some excellent moments in the game, and I think it's a real contrast in styles. I think we look to play, try and play out from the back, and at times the movement was just too good for Birmingham, it was only really in and around that final third where I think they'll probably be a little bit disappointed where we didn't probably create as many clear-cut chances as previously we've done. But I think in terms of performance and a contrasting style, I know which team I'd have been in terms of the football wanting to watch this evening.
From a playing perspective, how will the lads be feeling after that one? Will they be feeling much the same as us, sort of frustrated and annoyed that they haven't got the points that performance deserved, and probably wanting to, get into training and get into Bournemouth on Saturday?
Yeah, they'll definitely be frustrated and disappointed. I think you've got a group of players who are in a good place at the minute. The results are in good momentum, and so I think they'll feel disappointed they've not been able to push that 3 points over the line. But there's a quick turnaround now and a long trip down to Bournemouth, and they'll be refocusing for that.
Andy, was there anyone who particularly stood out for you this evening? I thought Sober had a really strong game on the right and was the heart of a lot of things we did. But one player who's in the past few games as a substitute and as a starter who's really stood out for me is Dwayne Holmes. He was popping up here, there, and everywhere today. It was almost like somebody had clicked free roll on Football Manager because he was going wherever he wanted and playing some really nice passes. Is that somebody that sort of stood out for you as well?
Raj, I'm so glad you've given me an opportunity to talk about Dwayne. Coming into the game, I was hearing his interview and he was saying that this manager is giving him that ability to have more of a free role. Wherever he puts him, there is that little freedom to go where he wants. Tonight, on a few occasions in that first half, I actually thought Dwayne was unplayable. There was a defender that he was dragging out wide, and he was just able to kind of take him on, retake him on. And you can really see that Dwayne is a person who looks really happy as a human being as well as a footballer. And I feel like we are getting the solid performances from him. But I don't feel as well, it's just him. If you look at that kind of front line, if you look at the work effort that Danny Ward was putting in, for example, Danny is chasing down everything. I don't think, as a Town fan, in the 2 times that Danny's been with us as a club, I don't think I've ever seen him this fit. And he looks so willing. And even if he doesn't win a header or so, he chases back. I've not seen this level of as I say, fitness from Danny Ward. So he impresses me. Dwayne impresses me. Sorba impresses me. I mean, I can carry on with the front line, but I thought really, really impressive performances from them all tonight.
Yeah, I think that's really nicely summed up, Andy. Worthy, one player that I wanted to speak to you about was Tom Lees, because for me, Tom Lees is one of the most dependable characters possibly in the league. He's forever fit, touch wood. He's always running his blood to water. He's so dependable, and he never tends to put a foot wrong. Is he a player that should probably come in for more praise than he does? But it's just because he is so steady and so reliable that he just probably flies under the radar.
Yeah, I mean, he's been top drawer, hasn't he, really, since he's come into the team. And when he came in, on the back of no pre-season, straight thrown in, and you wouldn't have even known. He slipped into the team, and he's excelled ever since. I think he's a real calming influence, a top professional, sets the standards both on the pitch and off the pitch. And I can't emphasise how important characters like that are to having around the club.
We've had 3 clean sheets in a row now, Worthy, in the league, with Luton the weekend and then tonight. We've mentioned Tom, but another person who's key to that is obviously Lee Nichols, another lad who's come in this summer and slotted straight in. Is having that sort of character, him and Lee and Matty and even Levi, who's such a young kid, but looks like he's been a professional for 10 years. Is that sort of calmness across your back line the reason why you can have back-to-back clean sheets and look so solid defensively?
Absolutely. I think as a team collectively, I think there's definitely been a tweak into the defensive structure and out of possession, and I think that's definitely helped and made us more solid this season. But I think the steadiness of Matty Pearson and anyone who's been in the back 3 and in front of them with Hoggy, have all been excellent. But I think Lee Nichols, again, you talk about Tom Lee's been a calming influence. I think Lee Nichols has been excellent. He really has. He's played out from the back. He gives you a platform to play from. He's made saves and he's a big presence. And again, he's another one of the signings who, has really kind of settled in very, very quickly. And he's been a massive influence.
As a fan, Andy, does that calm your nerves as well in the stands, knowing that our backline is that sort of confident and self-assured compared to, there's no way to sort of paint it any better. It was the worst defence in the Championship last season.
Yeah, as Worthy's mentioned, that now back line that we have, there's a real air of confidence from them. There's a real air of they know this division, they know what's going to happen within it. The thing as well, which I've spotted as a fan, and I love seeing this is with Lee Nichols, is you can see sometimes when Town are attacking, and we've maybe an attacking set piece, the manager actually turns to Lee Nichols and is almost using him as an on-pitch manager. Almost, it's really clever because you'll see him giving him sort of tactical advice, which Lee Nichols then passes through to the rest of the team. And I feel like the role that Lee Nichols has is incredibly important. And yeah, Raj, as you say, it's all part of this kind of new group at the back who've really changed how we are. And to watch as a fan, yeah, if it's in that area, you're not quite as nervous as maybe you have been in previous seasons.
This is probably one of those games that we don't want to, overanalyze and dwell on too much because it is what it is. It's a frustrating 0-0 that Town probably should have won on another night, probably would have. And, you can feel guilty sometimes of making too much of these type games and drawing too many conclusions from it. So looking forward, Worthy, how will we be feeling and looking at this Bournemouth game? Because they are top of the league. They haven't lost yet. And most people, outside the club and media and what have you, will be expecting another Bournemouth win come Saturday.
Yeah, I think people from the outside probably will, and when you look at their squad and the talent in this squad and the start they've had to the season, I think most people will be. But I think what you've got, what we've got with the first team squad now is a real resilient bunch of players, with a real team spirit and a camaraderie, and when you've got that, it's pretty powerful. I've been in dressing rooms before, and sometimes, that's the difference, and it gets you results when you're not expecting them. But there's also a mixing of talented players as well. So I think frustration tonight, but they'll be in tomorrow. They'll go again, regroup, and have a real focus and on the Bournemouth game. And I'm sure, with the characters you've got players who are willing to to work, to graft and put bodies on the line, and hopefully they can do that away at Bournemouth and get something.
Andy, I'll make this the final question. What's the fans' perspective then going into Bournemouth at the weekend? Because fans are obviously a little bit different than being inside the club. It can be a little bit more opinionated and what have you. A fan sort of, because it's a bit more positive now, are we just hoping for a good performance and to show what we're about against one of the better teams in the league and somebody that we are in company with and deserve to be in company with at the minute?
I can't speak for all fans, Raj, but I like to see myself as a realist. I go into Saturday, I would absolutely love to see Town put in a solid performance and nick like a 1-0 win or so. But I am a realist. I totally appreciate Bournemouth, like you say, it's a tough place to go. There's familiar face of Phil Bill and everything there. For me, a Town performance that is really solid, that shows all of the attributes that we've talked about tonight, I take that even if the score ends up Bournemouth 1-0. I don't want that. I would like Huddersfield Town to get the victory. But as a realist, I understand that is possible. Speaking to other fans, maybe fans, you know what fans are like? Fans want a Town victory, 3 points every game. So there's some who want that, some realists, it will be what it will be. But I'm looking forward to the game. We've got an exciting team to watch at the minute.
Yeah, I think everyone's looking forward to it, and hopefully we can come away with a positive result. Thank you very much for you two. I don't want to keep you any longer and dwell on this one too much. I think if I stay in this press box any longer as well, I'll end up like Jack Nicholson in The Shining and physically freeze to the seat. So I'm going to get inside as well. So thank you very much for your time. Thank you to Sportsbroker for sponsoring, and we'll speak to you before that Bournemouth game.